What's up, everybody? It's your boy Cooley. This is We Love Wednesdays. It's a show that will be coming out every Wednesday where I'll be talking about comic books with some of my favorite comic book fans that are out there. And today I have a very special guest. He's going to be like the first guest of We Love Wednesdays.
Oh snap!
Uh, yeah, man, you have the honor of being the first guest of We Love Wednesdays. It's the show that everybody in the world is going to be watching. Not really, but yeah, you know what I mean. Yeah, this is my man Brandon Jackson. BJ Kicks, to those who are members of the K Squad and people that watch his unboxings and comic reviews every week, almost every day. Man, this guy's always got something up on YouTube, and in fact, inspired me to get back in the game. What's up, man? How you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm good. How are you?
I'm great, man. I'm great. I mean that, man. Like I had not done anything in the podcast realm or recording or doing anything like that for a while. Like Tony and I had been doing Redbeard podcast for about 5 years. And things happen, life happens. He had a kid, got married. We had switched jobs, and life took over. And I didn't fall out of love with it, but I just, things came up and I just didn't like really make the time for it. But,
Yeah.
I saw you doing your thing, and, man, props to you. You got like so much stuff going on, and you actually have like a different business as well that you're promoting.
Right.
And you find the time to do it. And when I saw that, I was like, dude, if this guy can have all of this stuff going on in his life and he can get something out, I got to get back at it, man.
Oh, that's what's up. I'm glad I could inspire you in that way. I wish it was like some like superpower I had or something, right? But really, doing what I do, right? For those of you guys who don't know, I mean, I'm BJ Kicks, right? I have a YouTube channel where I buy comics, I read them, and I review them. And really, where that channel started was in my business that I run. I do marketing consulting and marketing education. But I just got tired of like sitting at a camera talking to people about making money during a pandemic, right? Like that was the difficult part for me. Like there's a lot of people online who will be like, "Oh, just pay me, $97." There's always a number that ends with seven. Pay
Right.
me $97, and I'll teach you all of the secrets, and you'll make millions of dollars. Well, you'll make hundreds of dollars, but I'll tell you you're making millions of dollars, and then I'll actually make millions. Like it's just I couldn't do it. And that's not even how I ran my business anyway. But asking people for like any amount of money just felt really odd during a time where like the whole world is on unemployment.
Right. Right. Right.
So I was like, I didn't like doing that. And honestly, I was kind of fed up with the industry I was in anyway. Like the music business, creative people can be very selfish people, right? It's not just musicians, but my background is hip hop music, and in hip hop music, it's the worst. Um, and so I was making all this content, doing all this stuff basically for free, right? And
Hmm.
I would get some of the nastiest comments and stuff like that. So I was just like, kind of, it was pulling teeth to get me to keep doing that stuff. But at the same time, I was getting into comic books, and I'm sure we'll talk about how that happened later. But I was getting into comic books, and the comic books were consuming more and more of my time. And so I was like, okay. At first, I started kind of like a pills in the applesauce type thing. Like,
Right.
all right, well, if I got to sit in front of a camera anyway, I'll do two videos about comic books, then I'll do a video about marketing, and it'll all work out. And life events happen. Like I said, we'll talk about all that stuff later. And it just kind of pushed me more and more into comics. And it got to a point where I was diving into comics just to kind of maintain my sanity and like what I felt was a normal life. And so I think that's what a lot of people were seeing when it was like, okay, here's a video every day. And it was like, nah, like if I don't do this today, I'm gonna feel really crazy and I'm not
Hmm.
gonna be able to get centered for my day. And so that's kind of where it came from. But I'm glad, like I said, that it could inspire someone like you because you're a cool dude, right? I hope other people are inspired as well to share their opinions and the stuff that they love as well.
Yeah, man, I appreciate that. And seriously, like one of the things that really that really got me like following your stuff was the humanity and the kindness, man. Like it, like you see there's too much stuff out there right now, like especially review channels and channels that talk about pop culture things, Star Wars especially, a lot of like Marvel and DC stuff, a lot of people like trying to tear down SJWs in the woke culture, or vice versa, people just attacking for things that they perceive as like a slight against a certain community or whatever.
Mhm.
It's just everybody's got, and I hate using the word agenda because they've weaponized that word, but everybody's got something that they want to talk about and bring to light and make people see things in the way that they want them to see it, instead
Mhm.
of just reading a comic book and talking about the comic, right? and,
Yeah.
and, and that's something that you did. Like I think the first one that I saw from you, and as soon as I saw it, I immediately joined K Squad,
Uh,
was the Future State review,
oh yeah.
because I mean, I think I may have enjoyed it a little more than you did,
Uh,
but you had very valid points, like the reasons why you were like, oh yeah, I don't know if I'm really enjoying this, and you didn't tear it down. You just
mhm.
said you weren't sure how you felt about it,
Yeah.
and the reasons why were really valid. Like it was kind of scattershot, it was kind of all over the place. You didn't get a sense of what the timeline was, and it resonated with me, and I was just like, you didn't just like it because it had a black Batman, right?
Right.
And that's something that I try to be conscious of. I try not to be like, oh, I like this thing because it caters to my culture, right? Like and that I gave you big props for that. And then you had like I you had the thing at the end where you mentioned K Squad and the
Mhm.
community for people that love comics, and I was like, you know what, if it's like anything like this review, like, I mean, it's got to be a cool crew. And I went, and I think when I joined, it might have been maybe like 80 people or
Yeah.
70 people, and I just watched that thing blow up and like start expanding. Now you're at like 300 members plus,
Man.
and it's like, and they're all chill people, and everybody contributes, everybody has fun. And I got this like cool freaking book, man, right? Like
Yeah,
for,
man.
and like, dude, like didn't even know it was coming.
Absolutely.
I
So
think I think that was the dopest part about it, was like, hey, you know what, I asked that question, and guess what, it was a contest and somebody won, and it happened to be me, and I was just like, what?
yeah, yeah. It's funny. I'm always on like pins and needles because you know we're two black dudes in comic books, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like we're a minority within a minority, and right now there's a very vocal, I believe, minority, but who knows? Because it's like 80% of what I get recommended on YouTube is people who there's a. I have to be careful with the word hate, right? But I'd call it a rage culture, right? Where
Yes,
it's
it
just like
is.
we're gonna I'm gonna get on this camera and just like yell or just be angry about whatever it is, like you said,
Mm-hmm.
SJWs, wokeism, whatever. I have problems with all of those terms.
Right,
Um,
same.
just
I cringe just to use them, so
yeah, no, I mean we can get like really real if you want to, but I mean I
real as you want, man. That's what this is all about, bro.
okay. So I mean I said this in a different interview, right? You could probably look at me and guess my political leanings, right? But again, we vote what once every 2 years at best, right?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe the most politically active people vote in their primaries, so that's twice every 2 years, unless there's a runoff, right?
Right.
And it's like I literally my background. I used to run a chapter of the NAACP, right? Like so, my background is in organizing and going out and educating people on candidates and hosting debates and forums and registering voters, all of this stuff, right?
Right.
And maybe I'm like spoiled because I was doing that during the Obama administration and not necessarily because Obama was the greatest president or not the greatest president, whatever,
Mm.
but because it was a time where politics at least seemed more civil, right?
Right.
And we can look back at history and we can see where the Obama administration kind of brought out the crazies. but like then the Trump cycle really brought out the crazies. And now we're at a point where everything is politicized, even though nothing happens politically.
Right.
Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
like we're talking about politics in comic books. What? Like, it's so
Yeah, like the name of Boba Fett's ship doesn't like put food on my table,
right,
or make
right,
it difficult for me to get a job or something. Like it's like,
exactly.
yeah, it
Right.
does it in at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. It's just like it's entertainment, and it either entertains you or it doesn't entertain you. And
Right.
if it doesn't, do I need to hear about why? Right? Like,
Exactly. Like
you
for
know,
so for someone with like a political background and all this experience, like grassroots, it's very it's maddening to like see people get hung up over the most trivial of things. Like
yes.
it's like because none of those things are moving the needle. And when I was out there campaigning and fighting and so on, you weren't there and you weren't there on either side. But
Mm-hmm.
we just on these microphones just talking like we all on CNN right now. It's crazy.
Yeah, man, dude, I didn't look, man. I didn't know that either, man. I didn't know that, you had, some political background, and, um, you were activated, man. I didn't realize that,
I make a point not to bring it up,
which is
like
it's testament to what I was just talking about, though.
yeah, because it doesn't in the grand scheme of things, it really doesn't matter. That
Right.
none of that is gonna make a story better or worse for me right now. Some things might resonate more with me just because of the content and because I can relate with my experiences. But that's the case no matter who I was or what my background was, right? Stories are stories. And for as much as everybody's like, oh, comics are escapism, it's fantasy. If you couldn't relate to the books you were reading, you wouldn't read them.
Right.
And I
Right.
think part of the outrage now is people are getting books that they can't relate to and they're upset because they used to be able to relate to everything.
Hmm. And now they have to relate to some things and let other
Right.
people have things that they can relate to.
Right.
Yeah, dude, like I would love to. I see, and this is where you get into a catch-22, because this is the type of thing that I want to make a movement for.
Hmm.
But the minute we make it a movement, it's hypocrisy, because
Yeah.
we don't want to politicize it.
Exactly.
We want it to be natural. So I,
Exactly.
I
Yeah.
I feel you on that, man. Like you don't know how many times I talked myself off a cliff, man. I wanted to like make videos about exactly what we're talking about, and I'm just like, nope, not gonna do
You know
it.
what's funny is the argument that we just articulated is very much what like the Comicsgate people say, although it's not what they do. It's not how they act. It's not
Right.
because if they wanted apolitical material, they would make it. But I don't think they want to be apolitical. Anyway, this is a
It's
whole
funny
different
because like,
thing.
oh
We
yeah, I
could cut
know,
it and start over, but
right?
it's like
Now I'm leaving this, man. This just turned into something that I didn't even realize it was going to be, but we are going to dial it back.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for listening to Tony and Cooley. We appreciate you listening every week while we ramble about stuff. If you haven't already subscribed to our YouTube channel, make sure that you do that now. Hit that subscribe button so you can see all the content we release every single week.
Yeah. And for those of you that are on Facebook, come check us out at the Nerd Ruckus Network. That is a Facebook group. So if you're, wondering, what you got to do is you got to look for Facebook groups and then search for Nerd Ruckus Network. Seek us out, request membership, and we shall approve you.